Dog, I was looking at it. Just even the last few weeks, I'm like, Isiah has to be one of the top 5 haters of all time. Like, this is beyond everything, not just basketball, not just MJ. I'm talking.
Who would you say is your top 5 haters?
Let's see. My top 5 haters. Well, for one, I would say Cowboy haters are one. You know that's true. You know that's real. Come on.
No,
now.
I'm just saying. Like,
okay. Cowboy haters. Okay. Let's see. Could it be? I don't know. I don't know if I have my top 5 lined up.
Well, I would say dealing, and I mean speaking like I guess from a that media perspective, or that having that authoritative, like you listen to what they're saying because of their platform.
Yeah.
So like for me, like Isiah would be one. You know,
he'd be one. Okay.
I'm not saying he's the GOAT of haters,
right?
But I'm saying he's definitely a hater.
I wouldn't argue that.
I would say that Skip Bayless is a hater.
Yeah.
Even now, I love Skip, but I'm saying, if Skip like you,
yeah,
he like you. But if you catch his eye, like,
yeah,
Skip is a hater.
You right?
You know
on
what
that.
I'm saying? Like, Skip is gonna hate just for the sake of hating.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. I agree with that.
And again, and he's an amazing journalist, but he hates for the sake of hating.
Yeah.
While I don't agree with 98% of what comes out of his mouth in terms of as it pertains to black people, he's an amazing journalist. 98%, but no. What I would say is this. I'm talking about this third person. I would say that Jason Whitlock is definitely on the Mount Rushmore of haters. And I was saying I don't agree with 98% of what he has said about black people, but homeboy just hates for no reason.
Me and Pat have conversations.
I think he panders to white America so much. And I really don't even believe he really feels like that. I believe he's thinking that by pandering to white America, you know, that he's getting some brownie points or something like that. And maybe he does believe what he says. But he's definitely one of my top 5 haters.
He does. I think he does believe what he's saying. Now, you brought up some interesting people. Like, Isiah's definitely there. Skip Bayless, even though I rock with Skip, I can see your point. He could be in there. Jason Whitlock, he goes hard. He could be in there too.
I mean, just the stuff he said about Kaepernick, like, dude.
Yeah. So that's 4. So we got Skip, Isiah, Whitlock. No, that's 3.
Yeah.
Whitlock and no, we got 4. Cowboy.
Cowboy haters. Cowboy haters. Media, dude.
No. Cowboy haters are number 1 still in my book. I don't, you know, they're definitely top 5. You know, we can agree to disagree with that. So
Jim Gray.
Jim Gray,
the old NBC, the white guy, the announcer. Well, he was he's like a journalist, but I mean, like he would do a lot of interviews with people, and like some of the stuff he would ask people, and just like like what he said about LeBron as far as the decision goes and everything. Like, I just think like some of the stuff he would ask people after boxing matches or after like Olympic things, and like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah,
like it's just.
Yeah, that's it. So with Isiah though, to pinpoint, it's like you saw the stuff that he put out there, was talking about. He was on Club Shay Shay. His podcast was talking MJ and how he wasn't even. I think he told him to name 5. His top 5 competitors are. I don't know how he was ranking.
His toughest competition.
His toughest competition, and MJ was. Was he number 5? I think he was number 5.
Yeah, well, and I'll say this. I don't know if he was necessarily put him in order, but...
he said 5th.
I would say... I just think for him, it comes from a place of he's from Chicago.
Yeah.
Like, I want to say the south side of Chicago. Born and bred, bleed Chicago. Like, he talked about how him and Mark Aguirre were trying to rig the draft. And I want to say like they went 1-4, I think. But they were both Chicago guys, and they were trying to rig the draft to end up on the Bull squad. And it's like, so they was like, if we just go to all our interviews and like we tank the interviews, like we'll get drafted to the Bulls. He wanted to be on the Bulls team.
Right.
But the love that Mike gets in Chicago and the hate that Detroit got in Chicago, and it bothered him because he's a Chicago guy.
Yeah. That's his home.
I want to say, like, you know, Quentin Richardson, you know, is from there. Like,
yeah.
But he got respect in the streets to where, like, when something popped off, like, he made some phone calls and, like, he still got that level of respect. But the hate that the Pistons got and the love that Jordan got, who's not a natural born Chicagoan, that bothered him. And I don't think that's ever sat right with him. And I don't think he's ever came out and said that. But I think that, and this, like, we deal with people in life a lot like that. Like, sometimes when somebody hates on you, it doesn't have anything to do with you and them individually.
Yeah.
Like I can hate on you because you get love or appreciation that I feel like I should get. Or you got a promotion that I feel like I should have because I worked harder for it, and maybe you got it because of nepotism or whatever the case may be. But you didn't do anything to me personally. It's just I'm upset because you're getting love that I don't get or that I feel I should get, and I think that that's where it's stemming from.
Also, I've heard him talk about this before, where he got family members, you know, like he's from Chicago, family members all in Chicago, that you know were diehard Chicago Bulls fans, like within his own family. You know what I'm saying? So you can just imagine how you got a cousin around the way, probably got a Jordan jersey on, Jordan's on his feet.
Shoes, right.
You know what I'm saying? It'd be like they coming to Chicago. You got your tickets, you know what I'm saying, your fans or whatever, your friends in the stands wearing. I'm sure you got your mom and your dad rocking with you. You know what I'm saying? But you got cousins, you know. It was just a phenomenon. Like, I was a Bulls fan, like you still a Bulls fan. You know what I'm saying, as you see. But
gotta do it.
I was totally into the Bulls, you know, for probably 10, 12 years straight, just because of MJ and just the energy and stuff they had. So you can just imagine him coming home having to see his kinfolk with a Jordan poster, or with, you know what I'm saying, I had the judge in my room, the dunk contest when he going from the free throw line.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I think that was one of the...
Or the joint where he's doing the rock the baby joint, you know, with the gold chain on and like...
Right. And that stuff, I know...
I used to have a 4-5 poster.
Oh,
when he came back, and they were playing Orlando.
Right.
And it was like a regular season game, but like he's, you know, going for the layup. I used to have a 4-5 poster when he came back.
See, and I'm sure us being in Memphis and people in Chicago, it was probably even elevated even more with fans and probably his own kinfolk and people he grew up with. And he got to see that every time he come back home. Every time he come, I think back then they played each other 4 times a year or 6 times a year because they was in the same division, right?
No, I want to say it was at least 4.
Yeah.
At least 4.
And
but
so
they were seeing them 4 times in the end, not including the playoffs.
Right. So you come to Chicago 2 or 3 times a year, plus you playing in the playoffs.
And I think it was the hate part of it. Like, how are you gonna include Kareem when
he was at the
you only played? But I'm saying you only played him twice a year.
Yeah.
And you only played him in the finals once.
Yep.
Because
twice.
No, yeah, twice. Right. They lost once, and then they beat them, and then they beat Portland. Yep. So you played them in the finals twice. So, but you had all those other years, like you may have only saw him twice in the season.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So how are you gonna elevate or equate somebody? I get Larry Bird, I get Dr. J. You saw those guys 4 times in the season and the playoffs. So if you beat them, you know what I'm saying, 4 times, or you went to a 7 game, that's 11 times in one season that you played somebody. I get that. That's fair.
Yeah.
But, you know, this dude took you to 7 games.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
And with
6 games.
Hobble Pippen in that 7th game.
You know what I'm saying? And essentially, like, that was who you had to stop.
Yep.
You know, so to say he's number 5, and again, like, I get Magic, you know, y'all are point guards, I give you that, but you got Kareem up there. And so that's just, to me, it's just, at this point, like, hating to be hating.
But the fact that he also said that he dominated Jordan head to head, like, and that makes it sound like an individual battle. You know what I'm saying? Like, that definitely wasn't true. Like his teams were more dominant over him. But to say in that interview I saw with on the podcast, he was like, "Yeah, I dominated him." You know, head to head. I'm like, and
a lot of times they didn't guard each other.
No.
Like a lot of times he was either guarding Joe Dumars or they used to have what's the old boy name? Small forward. They used to have Adrian Danley.
Yeah.
So he would guard Danley or he would guard Joe Dumars.
Yeah.
And Adrian Danley was their best scorer, which is why he was guarding Adrian Danley.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Then they get Mark Aguirre, who was averaging 28 a game in Detroit.
Dallas.
I mean, not Detroit, in Dallas.
Dallas, yeah, he was balling.
So got to keep him from scoring.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I'm not knocking Isaiah. Isaiah did what he did versus a lot of people, but, like, you're doing that on Paxson.
Yeah.
You're doing that on BJ. You're doing that on Craig Hodges.
Yeah.
Like, you ain't doing it on Scotty.
Yeah.
You ain't doing that on Mike.
I'm going to play that. I don't know. Hopefully,
we don't get in trouble for playing the clip.
I don't think so.
Well, I mean, we're not big enough yet.
Yeah,
you can't take anything from us yet.
I think we
don't retroactively do this like 5 years later.
This is on his Love and Basketball page.
His strength, his jump, in terms of his quickness, his strength, his jumping ability, his touch, and also his knowledge and understanding for the game. He by far, is the best I've ever seen.
Michael Jordan is truly the greatest of our time. No other athlete could have done what he did this year, sustaining his concentration despite doing everything that he wanted to do with all the distractions. Just great performance. His fundamental base combined with his skill base that makes him the greatest player to ever play. And you say that without hesitation. Without hesitation.
Without hesitation. You know, and he's always backtracked.
So again, if he's the greatest though,
yeah,
then even if you're saying LeBron has eclipsed him, then immediately what should come out of your mouth is that okay, Jordan was LeBron has eclipsed, if that's how you feel,
right?
But like you've completely changed your list to where like he's not even on it anymore.
Yeah.
You know, like you talking about, and we had this discussion. I'm not going. I mean, I love Bill Russell, but like. he didn't win 11 Finals MVPs.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? He won 11 championships, but he didn't win 11 Finals MVPs.
I don't know how many MVPs he won, but yeah.
You know, and so and so my issue is again like it's just a hate to be hating.
Yeah. Isaiah is and it's just funny to me now. Like I look at posts and see him talk and everything. I'm just like. Anybody that asks him anything about Michael Jordan now on a podcast or anything is just pandering.
So I'm looking at this, and this is from ESPN.com. Said Russell, a cornerstone of Boston's NBA dynasty in the 60s, was a 5-time NBA MVP and won 11 championships as a player and coach. But he never won the Finals MVP award.
Yeah. Oh, he never won. He don't even have one? Oh, okay. Interesting. I would not guess that. I would have assumed he at least had.
And Michael Jordan, as of right now, holds the record for the most final MVP awards with 6 to his name.
Yeah. Okay. That's interesting. So he got one.
He does not have one.
Serious? But I thought they named
the finals. They named it after him because
he's been there so many times.
11 as a player and a coach.
Okay. Dang, I would assume he, at least won one. But even Isaiah. When he names his Mount Rushmore, I don't think LeBron is on there. So, given the clip we just played, if he was the greatest of all time in the 90s like that, you know what I'm saying? This is after Dr. J's career. This is after Kareem is already gone. After Magic, which I think a few of those are on his Mount Rushmore.
Right.
So how do you go right now?
And you don't have Mike on your Mount Rushmore. And this is clearly after Isaiah retired, and he retired after the 94 season.
Yeah.
And this is how you know it is hate. He talks about, I had career-ending wrist surgery. Okay, when the Bulls beat y'all in 91, when they won their first championship, he didn't retire until 94.
Yeah.
I remember I was watching the game.
Yeah.
I can't remember who Detroit was playing, but he goes for a move, and it was either his ankle or his knee because he goes down. And they end up carrying him off the court, and he limps off the court, and that was his last play.
Yeah.
So it was a leg injury, knee or ankle, that caused him to retire, not his wrist.
Right.
And then he even said in the Club Shay Shay interview, like, they're only a year apart in age. He's only a year older than Mike.
Yeah.
So when he talks about them being old, you know what I'm saying? Mike was 27 when he won his first championship, 27, 28. So you were 28, 29.
Yeah.
You weren't old.
Right. Yeah, it's different.
Like they're actually, as a matter of fact, I think Rodman was their oldest player. Rodman was 30 when the Bulls beat them.
Yeah.
Like Lambeer and Isaiah was like 29. Joe Dumars was like 26. Like, they were not old.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just hate to be hating, and like and that goes to even a much broader thing. Like, we all have people in our lives that just hate to hate. They don't have a reason. That's just what it is.
Yeah, he's Isaiah, the top 5 hater, one of the top 5 haters of all time, man, undisputed.
They're not cowboy haters. That's fake news. Like y'all president said.
They up there too. Trust me. All right.